let's talk about life after being an au pair. So today's video is basically gonna prep you if you're still an au pair for life after being an au pair. If you're already done au pairing, I don't know, you can stay around and watch, but chances are you've either done a few of these things or you're currently experiencing a few of these things. So let's get into it. If you guys see me look over, it's because I have some notes. I didn't want to forget important stuff. So if you're not sure whether you're staying or going home, these tips still apply to you. So, number one, I do have a video out. Most of these topics I have videos out, but save. Whether you've been here for 2 months, whether you've been here for 5 months, whether you've been here for 6 months, save. Worst case scenario, you don't end up needing the money, you go home, you have extra money. Whether you're not sure if you want to stay here or go back to your home country, save. If you want a detailed explanation of how to save, I have videos up there. But what I always say, that way you can like enjoy your experience, is pay yourself. So like when you get paid the au pair stipend, for example, take out every week $25. With that $25, you can get Starbucks, you can get a coffee, you can get takeout, you can get whatever you want with that $25, and the rest goes into your savings account. Now, what has helped me also is having different banking accounts. I've always, and to this day, I still have different banking accounts. They are all free banking accounts. I don't pay for them. So I have a video on that too. I have one account where I get paid from, where my host family used to pay me. And then what I would do is I would leave in that account the money that I'm going to spend in the week. So like my $25 or my $50, however you want to keep behind. The rest, I would put it to another account. And that card, I never used it at an ATM. I never kept it on me. It stayed in the house. It was a safe card. It stayed in the house, that whole kind of thing. And even the app, I tried my best not to open that app. I mainly would open an app probably every 3-6 months, however long. But it was like one of those things where it's out of sight, out of mind. Most banks, you can schedule like a transfer where every Friday or every end of the month, they can pull a certain amount of money out of your account. Now, I do know that host families are very fickle with paying you on time. So that might be a problem if you don't have the money in your account. But every time I got paid, literally I would get paid, sit down, tied, keep money for myself, how much I'm keeping, and the rest will go into the other account. Number two. I wish I did more of this. Like, I really do wish I did more of it, because now that I'm on the other side, I see how it's such a benefit. So I would say volunteer. If you're not sure of where you're gonna go afterwards in terms of like a career path or like schooling or whatever it is, I say gain experience by volunteering or working for free. And it sounds crazy, but when you do your resume, you have experience in this country. So let's say you like dogs. Go to a local vet company or a local grooming place and be like, hey, I like dogs. I'm currently an au pair, can't work, whatever. But I would like to volunteer every Saturday here. I would like to help out for free. You don't have to pay me. Whatever it is, whatever industry. Try look at industries where you can get or gain a skill that is transferable. So when you're done, if you're like in the stage where you're trying to find work, you at least have experience with that. And even though it's not your dream job, you can like work at a vet place, or you can work at different places for the time being to hold you over until you get a job in the field you qualified for. Or while you're studying, you can do that part-time and actually get a job that pays. But during your au pair year, you can't earn money, or you can't work for companies, but you can volunteer. So like I would say, use your time wisely and volunteer, because it helps you gain experience. This leads me to my third point, where I say learn a skill. For example, I picked up content creation during my au pair journey, and it just was like a fun thing. But now, as you guys know, content creation can be a job, meaning I can become a full-time content creator, or I can work for companies and create content for them, meaning like let's say I work for Coca-Cola. I work at Coca-Cola and I create their social media content. That's a skill I picked up by mistake, just like learning and just doing my own thing. I would say to you, learn a skill, whether you want to learn how to cook, whether like pick up a skill that like if my au pair year is to end, I can say I'm qualified in this department, or I know how to do this, or I know how to do that. And once again, these are things that you can do to hold you over until you find your dream job, until you figure out, I want to go to school here, I want to do that. I definitely say pick up a skill. Number 4, this is for the girlies who want to stay behind. If you staying behind and you sure, like let's say it's month 1 or month 2 and you sure like, okay, I want to stay behind in whatever country you're au pairing in, I would say start looking at cost of apartments, start looking at cost of cars, because you're going to need a car. Some people au pair in places where the subway works really well. So mainly look at cost of apartments, like how much are apartments in the area, how much do they charge. You can even be like, I'm going to go view some apartments, go see. Start to figure out what do you like, what don't you like. Start to like try figure out, okay, I want to stay behind, so I'm going to need pots and pans, or I'm going to stay behind and I want to pay this much. So you know like how much the rent is in different areas. Like what do you have to rent an apartment? Do you want to go with a roommate? Do you want to go without a roommate? Start looking into those things pretty early, because like the last thing you want to do is be like, I need to move out next week, and only then you start looking for an apartment. Start to look, and then you also roughly know how much you're gonna spend on rent, and it gets you in that mindset of, okay, like I need to have this amount of money. Let's say the rent is $1,000. You're like, okay, to feel safe, I need to have 6 months worth of rent. Therefore, I need $6,000 saved up just for the rent aspect, and then consider the deposit and consider all the other things. And so, yeah, if you want to stay, even with cars, like how much do you want to spend? Do you want to buy a second-hand car? Do you want to buy it from Facebook Market? Do you want to go to a dealership? Do you like start thinking and like moving that way, if it makes sense? And lastly, my last point, this is for girlies who are staying, and if you're traveling and you still travel this year, build air miles. Like I know a lot of you, or a few of you that have been here, like got credit cards. I'm not a big credit card advocate because I don't know much about credit cards. I don't use credit cards, and I don't like to talk on something that I don't know about. But I will say build miles. The reason I say build miles, when you travel to, like if you're traveling with your host family, I know they usually buy tickets. If you're cool with your host family, ask like, hey, can I buy my own ticket? And you reimburse me, or can you give me the money to buy my own ticket? If they allow you to do it. If not, like whenever you travel with other au pairs, whenever you go places, that kind of stuff, build miles, because when you're no longer an au pair and you want to travel, you have those miles where you can like at least spoil yourself for once a year to go on vacation, or you can build miles to go back home to see your family after your au pair year ends. That's another way. And then also like if you want to go back, and let's say the airline books you a crappy flight, you can be like, hey, I have miles to add on to that kind of stuff. But yeah, build miles. I'm trying to think of if there's anything else I forgot. I spoke on the apartment thing, I spoke on like the money thing. Like saving money gives you so much freedom. Like nobody realizes this, because once you leave your host family, you left your host family. Like they owe you nothing. You have to see for your food, your water, your light, your apartment, your rent. If you're lucky and you have family in the country, you feel it more safer, because if anything goes bad, you know, you can stay at their house. But if not, you are on your own. There's lights and the water are looking at you. And that's another thing, you have to get a light bill if your apartment charges water, that whole thing. So I would say if you particularly want to stay, then start doing research as early as possible. If you want to go home, during my first au pair term, I went home and I saved up my money, and when I went home, I rented a place in South Africa and I had all those things. And the same thing, I was not panicking. I was like, I want to find a job, but I wasn't panicking, and I didn't have a job for 2 months. But I had saved up my rent's worth of money for like 6 to 8 months at that time. And so I wasn't like, oh my gosh, I have to go live with my mom, or I have, you know, like it gave me freedom and it gave me flexibility to choose a job that I wanted because I had saved money. And so yeah, the worst thing that could happen is you have all this money saved up, you went home and you have that money. So I hope you guys liked the video. Please share this to au pairs who are looking to stay or go or currently au pairing. Thank you so much. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.